What's up, Brick fans? On today's episode, we are going to be jumping back into Docking Bay 7, where we're going to be putting in a brand new courtyard and looking at the tree design for Batuu. So let's jump into it. This is Building Batuu. Okay, so as I said, on today's episode, we are going to be looking at Docking Bay 7 once again. We're going to be putting in a new courtyard area, all of that outside area with the decrepit walls and some cool tables and chairs and some other sort of stuff. Really starting to sort of bring some character out in this building that we've created over the last couple of episodes. We're also going to be looking at the trees for Batuu. The first tree, which is going to be going in for Docking Bay 7, is going to be in there today, and I can't wait to show you guys. If you do enjoy today's video, guys, please give me a like and remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you don't miss anything coming up. So let's not delay. Let's hit that hyperdrive and jump straight in. All right, so here we go. We're going to kick it off today by having a look at what we're going to be working on. I have started to do a little bit of a prototype of what this decrepit wall is going to look like. There's going to be one that's running right along the edge here. So this is a bit of a snot technique where I'm working in bits of masonry bricks and things like that. I will introduce a few little quarter tiles and some 1x1 round singles, things like that, just to get a basic idea, and then it will kind of cut back to this type of thing. There'll then be a door here that's similar in style to this door, but not exactly the same. And then that will basically run up to the top. So looking again at this building, it actually, and the aerial version of this, I actually thought that it kind of went all the way around, but it doesn't. It's sort of like a bit of a semicircle and then continues out this way. So basically what's going to happen is this section here will continue basically to that point. Then it will go out straight. I'm actually going to take off this section here, and it will basically be replaced by this decrepit wall, which will hold up the rest of the roof, and then that will go into a smaller spire that's going to go off the top here. Obviously next to the spire will not encroach on where the transport's going to be. The transport's obviously still going to be in that top section. But what we're going to be working on today is mainly this wall and also getting this section tiled off. So yeah, the door that's going to be here is going to be in this section. I'm going to continue this part of the wall, and then the wall will actually continue around here, and there'll be a facade that kind of works into this way as though there's more out that way. And this is just sort of laying down an idea for the tiles, but I'm actually going to rip this all up and put a sub layer under there so that I can have kind of missing sections that are the proper color, and as opposed to these kind of things, so that it will actually look a little bit bumpy and a bit rocky. So yeah, I'm going to probably drop into a bit of a time lapse now and just show you guys get cracking on this, and hopefully it all works itself out. Okay, so here we are. I'm making some pretty decent progress on this. I will just show you in here. Now, basically, I'm thinking this is going to be about sort of double the height on this side. And then this one will just come up to this kind of level. And then I'm going to have another door here. But just for a bit of change of pace, I'm going to have to go and have a look for some more bricks somewhere in the brick wall, so that's going to take me just a little while to sort that out, but then I'm actually going to start looking at the floor just to sort of get some of this tiled off, because I'm kind of sick of looking at like this gross thing down here. So yeah, it's time to get rid of that, and I'm going to chuck in the tiles, and it's hopefully going to look a lot better in this section when I go like this. So yeah, onwards to that, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, well, we're back, and here is the kind of prototype of what the outdoor area is finally going to look like. So you'll see in here, obviously, from the time lapse, there's the wall I was working on. Here is a very, very rough tree. We'll be looking at a few different designs for how I'm going to do this tree. And I was originally going to get in some nougat pieces of the archways, but I actually quite like the brown archways, so I may actually stick with them, but just transition them better in this section and in here and here, where they kind of are actually held up and the supports for them. These kind of fences with the slats, I'm actually going to swap these out. I don't have any at the moment, but I'm gonna get in some of the Asian ornamental fences because they are very, very similar to the reference art that I can see. So I need to finish off the wall as well, put the door in here. There's an extra door that goes in there. Obviously finish off this part of the wall as well. One final little feature that I've been working on, these little table and chairs that I've been working on. So they're just using hinges at the back there, and then a mix of tiles and plates to create that kind of look. And I think they are pretty true to what is in the reference. And obviously I've used the jumper plates there for the tables. Essentially I'm going to be putting drinks and some plates and things on here as well to sort of kit it up. That's pretty much it for tonight, but I will be jumping in before the end of this episode. So I am hoping to get a fair bit more done in the coming couple of nights. All right, so we're back for another night of building. I'm pretty pumped to get into that right now and finish up some of the tiles and continue that wall, and mainly get right in there and try to get that door finished. So that is what's coming up now. All right, so there it is. That is the door that will slot into that spot right there. So we got to get that one in, and let's do it. I totally didn't think it fit for a second, but it does. So that's cool. So what's basically going to happen is I'm going to fill in these little bits here, and then I've got to put like this, like a grey, dark bluish grey border on there. So I'm going to stick that one on, but I'm liking the look of that door. It's kind of the same sort of vibe as this one, but just a little bit different kind of shaping. So matches up with the reference pretty well, and I think that is going to look pretty cool. So yeah, onward and upward. I'm going to try to get something sorted out for that trim, and then I'm going to keep going on with some of this wall and the tiles. All right, well, we moved forward a bit. So here is the border that I put on for the door. I'm going to put of course, a little finishing piece to open the door. We always need something to have like a keypad or something like that, so I'm gonna have to look around for a piece like that. And then I've extended out the wall and put this little curved section in there, which just to break up the kind of, otherwise it just look like a box. So I want to put this little curved wall in here, and there'll be some vents and things that are coming off that. And then this will actually be an entrance to Ronto roasters. So that actually worked out pretty well. I know that there actually isn't a direct entrance. I don't believe there's a direct entrance into Ronto roasters from the courtyard of Docking Bay 7, but I think that it'll work anyway for this little section and make it really work. So the next thing that I am going to do is, I'm actually really not happy with the tiling on this section. So what I'm going to do is to break this up. So I'm going to pull up all of these dark bluish grey tiles, and then I'm going to replace them with smaller pieces of plates. I'm actually going to do plates so it's a bit rough because I wanted to get a contrast between the rough and the smooth. And then I'm going to take up half of these tiles and replace them with a lot of smaller tiles. So some of the circles in here, some of the quarters, and some of just 1x1 squares to make them up, just so it kind of still has a smooth feel, but it's broken up and feels a little bit smaller. So that's what I'm going to do next. And don't worry, that dodgy tree that I built before is now over here, but I will be replacing that very soon as well. So onwards with the tiling. Alright, well here's the finished article of the floor, and I really think the breakup now looks a lot nicer. Just getting some of those flat surfaces in there still, but even just broken up flat surfaces, like just putting in multiple of the tiles in place of the single 2x2 tiles. I've also built up this wall a little bit further and put the door frame in there now. The last thing I'm going to try and get done for this episode is I'm going to look at this tree here. I didn't like the last version, so I've taken that out already, and we'll just get the door finally there and fix this little section here that needs fixing. Okay, so this is very exciting because this is the very first tree that is ever going to go into Batuu. There are many more to come, but this is the general style. It's done with a flex tube through the middle and a whole bunch of Travis bricks. It's actually a technique that I found on a Rebel Lug tutorial. There was a whole bunch of trees on there, and I really liked this one, so I've used it. But I've obviously made a few little edits to it just to fit my scale that I want to go for. But yeah, it's got some really interesting connections here with some sort of clips moving into the poles, and then some nunchucks and a whole bunch of other stuff in there. But yeah, I think it looks pretty effective. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the tree style, because obviously I'm going to try and replicate this throughout the rest of Batuu. But for now, let's get this little puppy down in there, and hopefully it fits in the space. It's gonna fit. And there we go. It's in there. So, beautiful little tree for everyone who's hanging out in Docking Bay 7 to enjoy. And I think that's about it. Probably one more thing. I will just add in this door here. So I'm going to jump into that right now, and I will cut back to show you the final for the week. And it's time for the final element of the week, which is this door right here. It's a little bit different to the others. I wanted it to be more of a blast sort of metal door. I know I did use an old piece that has a bit of a chip from it, but as I've said many times, I actually quite like the chipped brick look. It kind of gives it a used universe feel, and I think if it's good enough for George Lucas, it's good enough for me. So there you go. It's in there now. It's got a little bit of grime on it, and there we go. That is pretty much it for the week. And next week, hopefully I get the pieces in to finish off the top and get that roof on there. And I'm going to be continuing the side wall here up a bit further to be about this height, and continue the roof on that side. So there you go. That pretty much wraps it up. Let's go in to close it up for the day. Well, there you go, Brick fans. That pretty much wraps up today's episode. We've put that courtyard in now. I've got that new tree. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the overall aesthetic of this little area, including that new tree that is going to be throughout Batuu. So I do really want to get your guys' opinions on how that style looks, because it is something I'm going to be replicating moving forward. I am just waiting on a few of the pieces to finish off the top landing area before I move on to another section, but I will be cleaning up the rest of the courtyard. That is what is to come on Batuu. Other than that, I do have a live coming up this week where I will be again building a special little vignette build for my Star Wars faction. So if you're around, definitely pop in for that one. If you enjoyed today's video, of course, guys, please give me a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of the content coming up. All right, today was a lot of fun, but I can't wait to bring you some more content coming up next. So stay tuned, and until next time, till the spire, and may the bricks be with you.